Hey, it's Mark.
And I'm Evan.
And on this week's episode of I was going to say not so corporate. Something to Prove podcast. We talk about whatever Evan wants to talk about. Why Mark is bad, Mark being me, at coaching people.
What? No way. You're great at coaching people. You need to remember who you are. How I almost vomited today.
And then we get super deep into Evan's gaming strategy.
Stop following me on Instagram.
That's it. That's the one. How you doing?
Welcome to the Something to Prove podcast.
We don't do that anymore. New format. We just start talking.
Oh, okay, good.
Are you eating dinner?
Kind of. It's my first meal. It's fish.
I just poured salad dressing on my computer.
That's the best.
Hold on. There's no graceful way for me to literally have to drink salad dressing off my computer.
Bring up your computer.
Oh, like drink it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just licked it off the trackpad.
I like the slurp though. I think we should.
Did you get that? Could you hear it?
We could. I talked over it a little bit.
Is that better?
There you go. That's fake. I don't like it. I talked over the first one a little bit, but I think it's there, so I'm happy. Okay, let's go, Mark. Stop eating. Come on, we're filming.
How you doing, buddy?
Rough, dude. Rough. This is a rough day. Emotionally and physically, but I got my Fanta hat on, so I'm good to go, man.
Yeah, I saw you at Wonderland.
Yeah.
Beautiful sunny day with your wife, with Hayden and your nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
So what made it so rough for you? I have to say, I texted you earlier and I asked how it's going or something, and you said, I had a rough day. I don't think I've ever heard you say that. And then when we just jumped on this call and you're like, okay. Oh, at least you're smiling. I don't think I've ever seen you this.
20 minutes ago, I was gonna message you and say, Mark, I can't do the show. I've
never seen you do that.
I was lying down in bed, physically unable to do the show, headache, on the verge of vomiting. Yeah.
We can do it another time.
No, I know that, of course, dude, of course. But I'm pumped. It's days like this is man, I'm amazing. These are the days. These are the days that I tell myself how great I am because of how challenging a day it's been. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped to do the show. We're here. I'm in my undershirt and my Phantom Media hat, and I'm ready to go.
Okay. So it's okay. So I see, I totally misread. It sucks to have a migraine. It sucks to feel terrible. Here I was thinking that you were stewing in heartache and sadness and all this stuff, but mostly you just feel like garbage then, you're saying, right?
Well, it's both. I mean, well, we can get into it. Fine. I mean, last night was rough. I didn't go to bed till 3:40 something in the morning. And then woke up to start my day. Now I don't wake up crazy early like Mr. Drager does, but
I've been pretty consistent. Although I did get up at 10 to 5 this morning, so I was proud. I made myself proud.
Suffice to say, I did not get enough sleep. Today was my last full day with Hayden. He's been with me for the past 3 weeks. I've been on work light mode. And so he said he wanted to go to Wonderland, and we were watching the rain, and luckily it held off, and it's okay, we're going, great. But then right first thing in the morning, he's having a breakdown, just crying that it's his last day and he's sad and he wants to go. And I wasn't expecting that because it's been all amazing getting into it, and maybe at the end, but not getting started into the first day. And he's been on emotional edge kind of for the day because of it, and getting some fights with his cousins and figuring stuff out, but required a lot of parenting, a lot of support, a lot of understanding. So that was whatever. Stressful / unexpected. And then so we get to Wonderland, and Wonderland, for the people who don't know, what's Wonderland? It's a theme park.
It's like a Six Flags.
It's a Six Flags.
It's an amusement park. It's not as big as Universal Studios Park, but it's big for Canada.
Not really theme. I guess some themes, but not.
Well, it used to be owned by Paramount, right? So every single ride used to be a Paramount ride. There was Top Gun and Italian Job and all of that stuff.
Oh, okay, that's all.
and then it got sold to someone else, and they had to rename everything unbranded, licensed rides.
Anyway, so we get there and they're going on the roller coaster. So I'm going to join on the roller coaster because I hate roller coasters.
Ooh, I figured out when I was 24 that I was already too old for roller coasters. I get really bad headaches.
Yeah. Anyway, so we go on a roller coaster and I've got Krona in my ear because I did an episode with her way back on my show where she had me do EFT tapping to tap away your fears. And, and I said, I don't know that I'm afraid to go on the roller coaster. I just don't want to get sick. Because I'm going to get sick doing it. Well, that's just a belief. You're going to get, okay, great, whatever. I'm going to go on a roller coaster.
And then what happened? Did you get sick?
Then I got sick. Yeah, I got nauseous. Not crazy. Like I didn't, and it wasn't like a monster ride or anything.
So you didn't go on like Behemoth or any of those massive, free fall, straight drop type things?
No. That would be no. We didn't do that.
Especially for some guy who just broke his neck 6 months ago. Maybe not the best move, right?
Yeah, my neck was fine. I didn't feel anything in my neck, but yeah, good call. So I felt a little sick after that, and then I'm fasting, so I didn't eat anything until like just now. It's 8:00 here. So I didn't eat anything all day, and then we're sitting in this little cabana that I rented by the pool, and the heat was ridiculous. So all of this, and then I'm in the cabana, and then you message me, and then I'm extra pissed off. What happened, earlier with your place. Anyway, all of it, and then I just dropped Hayden off at my parents' place because he's staying with them tonight because I got to fly to Dallas tomorrow for a keynote. And then he started crying again. Now I'm going to see him for a couple hours next Friday as our kind of last thing that we.
Oh, I thought he was flying out today.
No, he's here for a little bit longer. He flies out on the 31st or the 1st. I forget.
Okay. Saturday or Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's other family here to see and all that stuff. So, yeah. So we're gonna squeeze in a couple more hours before he actually leaves. But yeah. So then I get home and I'm a disaster. I mean, the emotional and physical toll of the entire day is waning on me. I had to take the elevator up today. I'm on an 18-day no elevator challenge.
Oh, you broke it.
Yeah, well, kind of. Technically, I broke it.
You take the elevator, didn't you?
No, I did, but it's still like, well, sure, whatever. I'm proud of myself. Right? Like, yes, as long as you're proud of the reasons why, right? So, I got up, and I very rarely break anything, right? Like, it's got to be extreme for me not to follow through on something that I say I'm going to follow through on, especially to myself. So yeah, I got up here. I'm carrying, the backpack, and we were supposed to go live and do this show at 8:00 Eastern. I get back at like 7:05.
Okay.
I just go and crash. I lie in the bed. I take a couple Advils. I grab some nuts, and I just lie in the bed and try to pass out. I don't. I set an alarm for 7:45 in case I fall asleep. But I'm legit lying on the bed thinking I can't do this show.
Yeah.
I can't do this show.
And yet you're here.
Yeah, and here we are, right? Here we go.
Smile on your face.
Put on the Fanta hat and let's go.
Yeah, the hat may not be helping, actually. It might be so tight that it may be giving you a headache, no?
It's not that tight.
Okay. That's a good-looking hat.
It's a decent hat, Like, I genuinely like this hat. Yeah, I do like it. I
don't like things not being right. And my fear of things going wrong keeps me from doing lots of things. Like, right. We know this. Anyone who listens to the podcast knows this.
Right, yes.
I've wanted hats for so long, but I've always been very worried that I wouldn't like the hat, that it wouldn't come out well, that it wouldn't look straight, it wouldn't do it. So I literally spent like 8 months on those hats. Because first I found a blank apparel company that would only sell blank apparel, and I bought like 10 different types of hats. Okay. Just so I could pick the type of hat I wanted.
Yeah.
And then I tried to figure out the type of stitching we would do and the type of placement we would do.
And is this the trucker hat? Is that trucker hat? Because it's got the mesh back, right?
It's a Richardson fast snap trucker hat.
I like it, dude. Yeah, listen, people send me hats all the time. All the time. I got lots of hats that people send me. And I'm not a hat guy either.
It's a nice hat, though.
I like this hat. Yeah, yeah.
So
So
the only thing
Wonderland
with the hat
outside all day.
you will sweat through it because it's a really light gray, and if you do, the hat's garbage. You got to throw it out.
Oh,
If you
okay.
sweat through the front of the hat, you let me know. I got to get you another one.
So this is more a fashion hat more than like a.
Well, I have one for outside working in my backyard, and it looks terrible. But
Got it.
anyway, so I got them done. Nikki got them done for me, our mutual friend at Sigma Promotions. And when they showed up, they weren't the right hat. They were a cloth back and everything. And then I felt really guilty.
Ooh. Do you have one of the cloth backs?
No, I sent them all back
Oh, that's too bad.
because I said, listen, thank you, but these weren't the hats that I ordered or that we wanted.
Did it have the snap or was it fully?
It was snap.
It was still snap with cloth, eh?
But it was cloth, so it looked more like a dad hat than like something a little bit cooler. So anyway, so then we got them done, and I think we did 20, and I only kept 3 aside. You have one of, so whenever they do stitching on hats and stuff, it's very, very hard to get it straight.
Okay.
Lots of them came out with like little
What's the stitching? The logo? The name?
logo. Yeah, that's a puff.
here.
It's a puff stitching. So
3 out of 20 had it lined up properly? That's crazy.
yeah, no, like I'm talking like most people don't even notice, but even those ones have a little bit. But I selected 3. I have 2 for myself, and I handed you 1. So
all right. Listen, it's getting used.
If I through that one, you let me know, and I'll give you my backup hat.
All right. Okay. Well, if I sweat through it, it's okay. I'll still wear it. Sweaty.
What do you want to talk about this week?
Really? I don't know. Whatever you want to talk about.
Well,
I got nothing.
You're the one you got nothing?
I don't know. I react. I'm a react guy.
I know, but sometimes you like that. Sometimes like you like to hijack the conversation, though.
Oh, I still might, but the hijack is still in reaction. Do you want to talk about memory and your other guy on your team?
Oh, you want to talk about? Oh yeah, tell that story.
So Mark and I had this ongoing thing for hardcore fans about memory, and he thinks I have a bad memory. Actually,
I don't think you have a bad memory. You, for the most part, have a very, very poor memory.
For the most part.
For the most part, you have.
Because I remember what matters. This is great.
Here's a great example.
Yeah.
Nina emails me last week and asked me a question about something you're doing.
Okay.
I knew that we would spend the day together on Friday. Last Friday, you came over. You showed up at 7:30 in the morning. You left around 4. We spent the entire day together.
That's a long day. Jesus.
It was a long day. I was super tired. It was a lot. It was a lot of like being on, and so we spent the day together. We talked. For Nina, to answer Nina's question in her email to me, we talked a lot about it, and I left you with 3 options. She emails me maybe yesterday, and goes, "Hey, you never follow up with this email?" I said, "I talked to Evan for like hours about this on Friday. Did he not throw you in?" And she's like, "No."
Okay.
I said, "I left him with a decision. He has to make a decision." She texts back. He doesn't remember.
What's the decision?
He doesn't remember. I said, so I filled her in on what we spoke about and said, this is what we talked about. I literally had to brief her because you couldn't remember the conversation that we had. That's the type of memory you have. When we spend a day together.
What's the decision out of all that? What's the decision you need to make?
The decision had to do with your marketing strategy and whether you were going to work with the guy who's building your ClickFunnels thing on the strategy, whether you were going to hire this outsourced person you were looking at.
For what? For my YouTube course?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to work with Marion to start.
But for the ad strategy.
Yeah.
Perfect. That was one of the 4 options that we talked about.
Okay.
She was following up with me and asking me when we were going to launch your ad strategy.
Oh, okay, great.
Anyway, super in the weeds. But the point is that's the type of memory you have.
Listen, I remember what's important. So this actually bothers me that you did not remember this. So there's a guy on Mark's team named Steve who came in and filmed. He's your film guy. He films Mark like 2 days a week, and some vloggy stuff, but also some just rants. Mark rants. All of his Instagram content, YouTube content. Steve is the guy. What's that?
I never. Sorry, I think someone's knocking on the compost upstairs. This is what it's like at dinner time. Yeah.
You have you're beneath the compost.
I am in the basement in my daughter's arts and crafts area, and the kitchen is above me. And so if someone takes something and turns it upside down and starts banging it on the compost, you can hear it through the floor.
I pictured like you're in this compound and you got this giant compost in the backyard, and then you've dug this little trench for yourself underneath.
Wow, much more boring than that. Mostly just if you hear knocking, If you hear the dog walking around, it's because we have a giant dog as well. But anyway,
the Drager bomb shelter underneath the compost.
I like that. Okay, so you're talking to Steve. Steve's my camera guy for videography.
Steve comes in, he's filming us, and then we get into a conversation. Mm-hmm. And that's how things always start. Mm-hmm. And that ended up being a, I don't know, 30-minute conversation. How long was I talking for? 30 minutes?
5 minutes, yeah.
35 minutes. And see, I don't remember how long. It doesn't matter. And at the end of it was Steve needs to take on more responsibility. I asked him, what he wants to get out of Fanta. And he's saying, I want more experience. But he says, I'm just grateful to be here. I'm grateful to learn from Mark. I'm grateful to be with this amazing CEO who knows everything. It's like, awesome. And like, you need to own this experience and not just take what's handed to you. You need to come and bring suggestions and tell Mark, hey man, next week I want to go film here. And when there's this creative meeting that's coming up, our weekly editorial meetings, yeah. Weekly editorial meeting that the next one, Steve was supposed to lead, right? Like, this is your chance, man. You're not just here being grateful for the opportunity. Awesome. Don't stop being grateful, but you need to, if you're in charge of this thing, you need to own it. Mm-hmm. And you probably have no idea how to lead an editorial meeting, but you got to talk to Mark and talk to the team and figure out, questions that you have and go in and be ready and let's go, right? Like, this is your chance, right? And that was the culmination of everything, was getting him to the point where he's taking ownership of his time there and not just, no, he's fortunate to have a guy like Mark who's going to give him opportunities and try to help him out in all this. But still, even there, don't just sit back. Don't just wait for things to come to you in life. Let's go, right? Like, you're in charge. Make it happen. So this was what? This was last Friday?
Yeah, Friday. Last Friday you were in for the day. We recorded the podcast. Yeah.
So the meeting was supposed to be today, right? Today's Wednesday. We're filming this on a Wednesday. At least it's supposed to be today. And great. So I messaged him and said, hey, man, like, how'd it go? I'm pumped. I'm pumped for him.
I was super, listen, like, whenever you reach out to my team with messages behind my back, okay, and then share with me, it's kind of these like beautiful little conversations that you have, that makes me feel really good.
Oh, okay, good. So let me, I'm sure she'll be okay with this. Let me read this. Hey, so how'd it go today? Me. I was fully prepared, exclamation point. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like just that he took action already, he's good in my books. Because a lot of people, they get the energy, but then they let their fears and everything else get back in the way, right? You slip back into your regular life. So it's like, I was fully prepared. Like, yes, dude, what's coming? I'm so excited for what's happening. And then he says, but then Mark and Louis, and Louis Mark, COO, Mark and Louis postponed the meeting right before we were supposed to have it because Mark's going off next week. Whoa. Thanks for holding me accountable, though. I'm still going to take the lead on the meetings moving forward. You can hold me to that, right? And then I said, no, LOL, I love it, though, man, cheering for you. He wrote, haha, thanks, man. Great, right? So, like, I don't remember my own marketing and the 3 decisions and whatever that came out of it that Nina had to follow up on, but I remember Wednesday, Steve has to do this meeting, and he's got to crush it or I'm pissed, right? Anyway, so I messaged Mark. I take a screenshot of that, and I messaged Mark. Mark's response, LOL, I forgot about that. But yes, he's going to drive. Mark, Mr. Memory Expert who crashes on me all the time, LOL, I forgot about that. And then I wrote, I remember what matters. And I think this is it. Like, that, to me, matters, right? The people on your team who are being pushed to do something new, this is his first chance to step outside his comfort zone and really own it. That matters, right? And so everything else doesn't matter as much. So, I mean, I just met this guy. I met at like Handshake 2 weeks ago or whatever. And then this is the first time I actually had a conversation with him. And so now this is on my mind. Like, I want Steve to crush this meeting, at least try, at least like that he was prepared and ready to go. Even if he fell and sucked and it was brutal, the fact that he, tried, right? Yeah. That's what I really care about. And so that's on my mind. Like, every day between Friday and Wednesday, I'm thinking about Steve. I'm hoping he's doing it. I'm not texting him because I don't want to be the reason why he's doing it, right? But how'd it go, man? Hey, how'd it go?
So I don't know what time you had the conversation, but we were filming this afternoon together.
Okay.
And then afterwards, when I was walking out, I was like, hey, man, tomorrow's my last day in the office because Friday I'm on vacation. After Labor Day, I come back, but then we're in Boston because we're going to inbound with him. We're in Boston for 4 days. So like, I'm not back in the office till like September 9th or something.
Okay.
Tomorrow's my last day. So I said, I think I have a few free hours. So if you want to shoot some extra stuff, you let me know. And he turned to me and he said, perfect. We can shoot all the stuff that I prepared for today's, like he didn't say for today's meeting, but it was like, perfect. We can shoot all the stuff that I prepared. And I was like, oh, great. Yeah, you prepared stuff. Like I forgot the conversation that you had. I was just happy that he's like, perfect. The stuff.
So this is two things here now. One, like, this is why you need to not just be grateful and you need to own it, right? Because if you just said, hey, I'm so grateful. Oh, Mark, you're going away. Oh, no problem. Okay, what do you want to do? I'm just a sponge here willing to take up your awesomeness, right? Like, no, man, I'm prepared. Let's go shoot this. And he gets more out of the experience than not just showing up and being grateful. But then two, I think too many people remember too many inconsequential things. The reason why
it's a good thing I remember the conversation we had for 7 hours on Friday and the details of that conversation, because you didn't take any notes. Well, I guess maybe you did take notes, but you don't remember. Your wife is texting me to ask what's going on.
Yeah, but this is more important. Like, if your team feels like, if your team feels like you've got their back, it's more important than any context from any meeting, any specific detail. Yeah.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing.
But like, in order to clear space in your head for the important things, you got to forget everything else.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. You know what? I don't know if we talked about this because I'm we're having these longer conversations. We talk so often. I can't remember what we talk about on the podcast or not. I was telling someone today, I think from last time from last week to this week, like we spent the entire day together on Friday. Sunday morning, we had a 5-minute conversation that turned into 2 hours. Like, okay. we talk often, but here's something that I always knew, and yet I only figured out a few weeks ago or a few months ago.
Oh, okay.
I've spent years running my company and not being like the CEO of my company. Have we talked about this? That I treat my work like the company's deliverables and my clients. It's my clients and it's my work that the whole company produces. But as the CEO, my client is actually the company, not the clients. My job is to lead and build and have a vision and serve the company. My job is to focus on our brand and our vision and who the company could be. What I should be spending my creative time building and executing on is us, not on client work, not on operations, not on other things. And that was something that you've talked offline or whatever about Mark the caveman, Mark the genius or whatever. Okay. Like, there are times where you probably don't even remember this.
I don't remember Mark the caveman, but I remember Mark the genius.
It's because I was reading You're a Ninja and I thought it said ninja and I didn't know what that word was.
Okay,
so I circled ninja and I was like, what's a ninja? What does this word?
You said ninja.
Ninja. Anyway, okay. This is one of those, I felt like a caveman. Like how did I, how have I spent so many years, when we started the company, it was just about trying to make it something bigger than it was. And then we took a few big swings and then we established ourselves, a small team. Year over year, we've grown organically. And now we're taking a really big swing at things again. But I don't know, I feel like an idiot for 3 or 4 weeks ago, having this realization that I should be spending all of my time to turn the company into the company I want it to be. I should spend all of my time treating my brand and our vision and our company as my client and not my clients as my clients or the deliverables as my work.
What are the 3 things you need to focus on?
You don't remember, do you?
I kind of remember. Mentoring your team.
Yeah.
Sales and marketing.
And what we call brand strategy, but basically mentoring and taking clients through strategy. Those are the 3 things.
Right. Okay. But brand strategy, what Mark's great at naturally, the way that he thinks and helping clients get results is different than Mark, the mentor, helping his team through making them better humans.
Yes.
But that's what this was with Steve.
That I know. I don't think I'm actually as good at as I probably let on. I've learned over the last few months that I am deeply passionate about whoever's in front of me when they are in front of me. And if they're not in front of me, they'll pop into my head and I'll send a note immediately. So that way I don't forget about them. But on my team, if you are good at your job and you are quiet, I'm like weeks can go by, months can go by. I really want to help the person who's in front of me, who's at a point where they need help. But we just did that. That's Steve. That was Friday. Yeah. And you put him on the spot. I tried to keep my mouth shut so you could do your thing. And then you asked me to respond to a question, and I tried to give him some feedback on what I could see him doing and where I could see him growing.
But the follow-up should have been today. Like, here's a guy.
He wasn't in front of me. I didn't remember.
Yeah, but listen, Louis, your guy he's great at it, and he's hard, and he's passionate, and he's going to do the day-to-day stuff. But those little moments from you mean a lot. Like, he's thanking me for holding him accountable in the push. Who the heck am I? Like, you're his boss. You're the guy he loves and sees as the god of marketing and all this stuff. Amazing. But that staying on top of things, even if you have to send yourself an email and put it in your calendar, like, he spent all this time preparing. Now, I don't know how much time he actually spent doing it, but he was excited about the prep work he did to then, like, yeah, it's canceled, without even you, like, acknowledging that maybe he practiced.
I don't know. You're making me feel bad now.
Like, whatever happens in the one-on-ones with you, where they get some, because you're great at it, when you get some deep truth and gazing into the mirror that then forces a realization that hopefully then also forces some kind of action, right? Like, okay, so what's your next step? Well, you have to then go do this. But it's in that follow-up that you show that you care that really makes a difference. It's something, that little bit of attention means so much. So much more than the day-to-day of, like, hey, did you get this done? And blah, 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 right? And, like,
yeah,
put your heart. That little bit of follow-up would mean the world to the people on your team. And if that's one of your three, then you have to do it. If it's not one of your three, then whatever, who cares? Screw your team. Louis takes over. you're doing strategy, and you're doing.
I think if you were to sit my team down and ask them one-on-one, and they were able to speak honestly, they would say the more Mark is the screw your team, blah 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 kind of guy or whatever.
Yeah, but you don't want to be that, and
I don't want to be that. But I'm saying I think that's the internal perception.
Great, but this is the process, right? It's having a great one-on-one with them, and then a little bit of follow-up and push to say, hey, how'd it go? Mm-hmm. Or are you ready? Yeah. So that's the thing.
How does this translate into advice for all of our listeners? Right, we're all busy running our businesses, and
well, your team is more important than you are collectively. Like, Mark Drager is the most important individual at the company. Mark Drager could just walk away and start Mark Drager Consulting and have a business. Nobody on the team would be able to go off and do that, most likely. But collectively, Phantom Media employees contribute way more than Mark Drager does as one human. Like, Mark maybe contributes 25% of all the value at the company. But there's 9 people, 10 people, 12 people. I don't know how many people you're talking about.
Yeah.
20 people.
Depends on how we count it, but between 18 and 20.
Awesome. So, like, there's 20 people, and Mark brings 25% of the value. Mm-hmm. But collectively, those other 19 bring 75% of the value. And so making them better has to be a part of any entrepreneur's role. It has to be.
Don't you think most of us, though, I see this with others, but maybe this isn't universal. We're like a paranoid, worrisome bunch. Right. The old adage, or, like it's gone around forever, which is like, like, what if we train the people and they leave? And then the other person says, what if we never train them and they stay? Ha 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 ha. But in reality, I think, are we not all worried is this person going to leave? Are they going to go? Are they going to take business with us? What if I put too much stock in this one person and I can't, and I build my company about them being really unique, not the E-Myth way.
Not the successful ones.
What if I train them a lot, and what if I pour all this time and love into them and do all of these things? And, I spend less time now worrying about this type of stuff, but I think that's mostly because I've literally, improperly spent the last 2 years ignoring my team and focusing on deliverables and work and all of those other things. But don't you think most entrepreneurs are pretty paranoid, worried, and fearful of that their team has too much control, that they know too much, that they have to do stuff that I'm not even aware of and I'm not even capable of, and how do I know if they're doing a good job, and all of these things?
Yes, but then you stay small.
More advice, please.
Then you stay small. Like if everything always has to run through you, then you're always limited by how much you can do.
Mm-hmm.
If your team doesn't feel any kind of trust that they can't make big decisions, there's no flexibility to fail, that everything has to be approved by the boss, then they're not going to stay. If they feel like you're not going to train them because you're worried they're going to leave, then guess what? They're going to leave. And
all my Fanta folk who might be listening to this right now, I'm not saying that I don't want to train you guys.
No, this is what Mark is actually great at. Like Mark in a one-on-one setting is genius at this stuff. The amount of caring and empathy and understanding and compassion combined with a push to do and be better is something you should lean in on. What's missing is the follow-up afterwards.
Have you ever seen me do this?
I think you did it at my workshop. I have a thought leadership workshop, and Mark was a student at it this past September. And then on our last dinner, we go around the table and everybody has a chance to say what they liked. And Mark Drager got more thank yous than the people who were on my team giving the workshop.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. But then the afterwards, because in the workshop setting, you may never see these people again. Or maybe you're leaving it to them to call you to say, hey, Mark, if anybody calls Mark and says, hey, Mark, can you help me with this thing? He's going to take the time and help you, right? Mm-hmm. Given, circumstances, right? Of course, he's going to try to make that time. Anybody from the workshops, if they said, Mark, I need some help on marketing, or I'm struggling with this question, would you? Yes, he's going to say yes. As long as you can figure out the time, he's going to say yes. But that's very reliant on them to do the work.
100%. 100%.
Right. But you can't do that as a leader because most people won't take that initiative because they're not used to it.
Yesterday,
and they're afraid.
My one-on-one with Oscar, Louis scheduled 30 minutes. It turned into an hour 45. My one-on-one with Michael today was supposed to be an hour.
Okay, but here,
what's editorial got pushed is it turned into a 2 hour and 15-minute conversation.
Awesome. What's the takeaway from the one with Oscar? What does he have to do? What's next?
Louis finished it up. Louis finished it up today.
What? Louis finished it up?
Yeah, because we only worked in the hour 45. We only worked through half the stuff that we had to work through.
Okay, but what's one takeaway that has to see? This is a great example. So what happened? Louis finished it up, and then
I have to follow up with him. But I mean, the conversation with Oscar was, we talked about where we're going as a company and the leadership that he brings, and it was more like an open forum because we were doing year end where he was able to say, like, here are some things that I think that Mark, you should think about. And here's some things we should be doing more as a company and elements like that. So
what does he have to do next?
It was a year end, so I don't want to get into the.
Okay, fine. Awesome. Whatever. Great. So, but here's a great example of, okay, you had to step out, understandable. You already went and gave more than you were supposed to, because that's what Mark Drager does. But then following up with Louis to say, hey, like, what happened? Just so that that you took the time to figure out what happened, right? Behind the scenes. Like you said, I love when you go behind the scenes and talk to Mike. I'm not asking for permission, like follow up with Steve. I'm just following up. And if Mark has a problem with it, like, screw you, Mark. Like, he needs this. But like taking the time to go and follow up with Louis to then figure out what Oscar needs or how the conversation ended. And then ideally out of every meeting, there's some kind of next step. So like, Oscar, your next step is you need to go off and do this thing that is uncomfortable, right? whatever that thing, have that conversation or come with an idea to the next meeting or whatever, right? And then the follow-up on that day, okay, this is his day. This is his chance to go off and do that thing. And then to feel the love from you that maybe you didn't even know about it, right? Because he talked to Louis, but you followed up with Louis to figure it out. And now you're here supporting and cheerleading him to do the thing.
Here's the thing. This is where you talk about how great I am at all of this stuff. I'm feeling right now like so incredibly uncomfortable, and I'm trying to pinpoint what part of this one that I probably don't really do it that well, or I certainly don't follow up very well. Something about what you're describing right now makes me feel just incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, because you're not good at that part yet, but you're great in the one-on-ones, and you're owning that.
Oh yeah. No, I'm amazing. I'm amazing.
Great. So then it's just scheduling it in to say, like, listen, when you had your big meeting yesterday, was yesterday? I don't remember when. It was yesterday?
Tuesday. What's today? Wednesday? Did it say Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was last night. Yeah.
Great. No, 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. You remembered because you put in your calendar, pray for Mark.
So Mark had this big thing, the biggest meeting of your life, right?
We talked about this on the podcast. We had this big meeting where I was worried about wearing my bracelet to the meeting. We were gonna get together downtown before it.
Yes.
And then it got pushed. And it happened yesterday.
So it got pushed, and then so it happened yesterday, and I said, well, I have Hayden now. The first one was before Hayden was over, so I'm with Hayden, and I said, you know what? Mark's religious. I'm not, but I can pray great. So at 4 o'clock, I'm going to, what time was your thing? 4 o'clock. Great. 4 o'clock, I'm going to put a prayer for Mark, and I put it into my calendar so that we would do it. That's it. That's all you have to do. Because the amount of love that you would feel from the effort, the willingness to come and meet you downtown and talk about it, or even just to know that Evan's saying a prayer for me, makes a difference. Like, makes a difference walking into that room. And that's what you want to gift to your team, especially as an acts of service guy.
Yeah. Have we talked about the love languages ever on the podcast?
I don't know, dude. Probably, actually. I think we did.
So there's this book called The 5 Love Languages, which comes from a Christian perspective, but it applies to everyone. It's meant mostly for marriages. And there's the idea that we all give and receive love in different ways. And what we don't realize is the way that you show love and want to receive love is different than the people you're typically partnered with. And so there's the way of showing love through what you say, which is called words of affirmation. There's showing love through gifts. Some people really love to give gifts and love to receive gifts. Other people want quality time. Other people want physical touch. So just the act of like touching or holding hands or like rubbing people or hugging or whatever. And then there's acts of service. And what I find really interesting is I've actually found, I think there's a workplace version of this book, which I haven't read, but you can literally, once you figure out these 5 things, you can actually, with your team, figure out how to apply them to your team. Because if someone is quality time, then all they want to do is just sit down and talk with you. And if someone else is a gift, then you show up and you hand them a coffee in the morning is like a tremendous thing. If it's acts of service, then do the dishes for them or help them follow up or do things like that. So in talking to Evan about this, you're acts of service as well, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, a month ago, we were having a hard day at work and you go to Tim Hortons and you want to buy like all the Boston cream donuts that exist.
Yeah.
And you show up at the office and you're like, ta-da! And you spend like 3 hours of your day trying to cheer us up. That's an acts of service kind of thing.
But that stuff matters. And for you, you're not going to be in the day-to-day. You're not going to be in the weeds. You're not going to be able to understand the minutia. But by building somebody's confidence up and by making people feel like there's somebody who believes in them, especially it's their boss, like it solves a lot underneath without you having to get into the weeds and know what they're doing on their projects.
I hear you. My concern is always, I don't know, maybe I'm concerned with, you know what it is? It's because when you're an entrepreneur or you're a leader, you are the type of person who creates your own things, right? You create your own processes, or you go and create your own business, or you create your own feedback loops. You're not looking to your team to clap you on the back and say how amazing you are. You find other ways to say how amazing you are, or how to build confidence or other things. And so it feels very unnatural to me. I almost don't want to tell people that I really, really believe in them and I'm super confident in it. And then when they don't do it, I go like, well, he didn't have it and now I'm a liar. Or to say like, I know we can do this. I know you're going to do this. I know you're going to challenge. It's on you to make it happen, make it happen, make it happen. And then they don't. And then it's just like, well, I've built you all up to do these things, or even like a fear of like just overconfidence, right? You tell people how amazing they are all day, every day at what they're doing and whatnot. Then I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not wired that way. That like those kind of things all probably in the back of my mind keep me from pouring as much love into people as I should.
Great. It's a legit concern. When you're dealing with people, everything needs to be a reaction to what they're giving you. They might need more confidence at that time, or they might need to be told that they suck at that time, right? Depending on how they're coming to you.
We talked about this last week on the podcast. We did circle around on how good you are at figuring this stuff out. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you're good at it too. Like if somebody comes in and they're feeling really low on themselves, you're not going to say, man, yeah, you're right, you suck. You're not going to do that.
No.
Build them up. You're going to give them love, give them confidence. You're going to point to areas that they've won at, or something that you recognize, a talent that you see in them that you're going to bring up. Even if you have just a little bit of context, you'll find something to make them feel good about themselves. Maybe if they're coming in too hot and like, I am the king, then to tear a ship off them and remind them so that they can get better. Right. But you already do a great job of boosting people up and giving them confidence, because your confidence in them gives them confidence in them. Knowing that Mark believes in me, even though like we're talking about in a company, but I saw you do it with strangers. Who are you? You're nobody. Like you're just another guy who's there at the event. You're not part of my team. You're not me. Just another dude who's there. Right.
I really struggled at the event because I'd say maybe 4 or 5 hours into the first day, I was like, oh, I got it. This isn't my event. I got to keep my mouth shut. I felt like I was, and then sometimes I just couldn't help myself. But
yeah, but look at what a great impact you had with you barely trying. Right? Like you had a big impact with your hands tied behind your back. Total stranger, right? Now imagine if you cut the ropes loose and you're actually their boss, somebody who they already respect and know and have some, they care what your opinion is going into the situation, right? How much good you could do.
So how do you believe in people to help give them the confidence they need when you don't believe that they can do it? And it's not a negative thing. It's
no, you don't.
Like a great example, like my style, like Manish on my team, he said he wanted to go in and start to do new things 2 years ago. And we've talked about this before. He's talked about it before. And I said, like, you can do it. Like nothing is stopping you from doing this, but you want to do it. And it's a really big shift. And I don't you have to show it to me. I can't tell you that you're going to be able to do this. You have to show me that you can do this. And if you can show me you can do it, we will make space for you. But
do you believe that he can do it or no?
At the time, I believed he had the technical sense to do it. I didn't know if he had the drive to do it.
Well, then that's what you say. Listen,
okay.
I think you have the technical sense. Like you're a rock star. Like you have the technical sense to do it. If you committed to it, I don't know if you're going to commit to it. Like it's the same thing with Steve. Could he do it? Yeah. Is he going to do it? So when he wrote, I was prepared. Like I'm pumped. And then that little bit of like, just the fact that you cared enough. So you set some, like for Manish to get from here to here is this giant chasm that you see that he may not see. Right. Like, of course he can get there in his mind, but you say, oh my God, he doesn't even know what he's getting into. It's a world of pain that's ahead of him. I don't know if he has the fortitude to get through it. Great. What's the first step that he needs to start doing? So, okay, great. You want to get into this thing? By next week, I want you to come up with a plan for this client on this little idea of yours. Awesome. Great. Does he do it? And then the little bit of reward that you actually care to check in And then it's either like he crushed it and it's awesome and he's ready for something bigger, or he sucked at it and he's down on himself and now he wants to quit this thing. But maybe just a little bit of reinforcement gives him the juice to keep going.
Yeah.
Right? Like the momentum. Focus on momentum. It matters.
Yes.
So if you say, I think you have the technical skills, but I don't know if you're gonna. I don't know if you're gonna have the fortitude to stick with it. But if you're game, then I am. But you have to actually believe it. Like, you have to actually believe that he has the skills to go off and do it, or he can figure it out if he wants to. If you don't believe it, then it's just empty words and it doesn't go anywhere. Don't say things you don't believe. Yeah, like when I see that Mark Drager vomits genius. Listen, Mark sent me something.
You're gonna get into the scripts now.
What? Yeah, the scripts. I still have to do them. I haven't done them. So Mark and I, while we're at his place, we're talking about scripts for an ad that I want to run. And like, Mark, just tell me what to write. Tell me what to say, and I'll say it. Like, not the exact.
But Thought Leadership Academy, right? At the end of September, you are having 15 people into Toronto. I've done it.
Yeah.
You have 4 empty spots. I'm going to be there for 3 days. You're going to be there. Alex is going to be there. It's going to be awesome. If anyone's listening and they want to come and spend 3 days with us, there's 4 spots left. So you better go to Google Evan Carmichael Thought Leadership Academy. But we wanted to create some video ads to help more people know that 1, early bird pricing is ending, and 2, only 4 spots left.
Right. So there's a lot of different ad campaigns that like got in my head, and I want to tap Mark Drager's genius. So he said, hey, tomorrow I'm going to send you some notes of the ads that you should create, and just make a video and that's it. That'll be the ad. Like, okay, great. Awesome. Looking forward to it. Send it along. And then he sends it the next day, but it's this giant, like 10 different variations, and each have like 10 different subpoints on them that already is causing me anxiety because I look at it and I suck at the script. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to take some liberties on these things. But
they're very specific points. I crafted them carefully.
The point was, like, there was a lot of time went into making all of those, a lot of thought, a lot of effort, a lot of time went into making those points, which I'm super grateful for. Like, I know Mark put a lot of effort to doing that, but then I forget what I wrote in the email exactly, but it's like, man, I wish you didn't spend so much time on this and gave me 80% quality, but then that extra time you spent, give me an ad for my book launch and give me an ad for.
And here's the thing. I feel like I only gave you 50% quality. There are literally holes where it says, like, I've worked with XYZ. I've done blank here. Like there are holes in it. That wasn't extraordinary.
That's still too much.
That was my me vomiting genius there.
No, that was not vomiting genius. That was still like, that was a microwave dinner. That was still a tasty meal. I want you to vomit genius, dude.
I don't know what that means. But I want someone to make a shirt for us that says that was a microwave meal. Yeah, there we go. It was too much. It was too much for what we needed. Like, I want you to lower. I want to be able to split test the different variations.
No, of course I do too. But it's just too much detail in each one.
But the nuance for what I'm setting up the different tests for is important.
Yeah, great. It's still too much. I want you to lower that standard. Because
you say lower that standard, and then you give me something that isn't going to work for the different variables. And then when I put it in the market, the advertising campaign doesn't work. And then we're going to say, why doesn't it work? And you're going to say, just tell me, just give me, just ask me. I'll make anything you want. Just tell me what you want. So I told you what I wanted.
The way you should do it is how we did it on the tour, where you said, Evan, I need 2 videos. Let me if you remember this. I was in Phoenix.
Yeah.
I was in Phoenix. I remember that.
Yeah, and you send me the video, and how's this?
He said, make 2 videos. We're doing a book video. It was for the tour, for the book. Anyway, and he said, I want 2 versions. One where you're pitching the value, and one where you're pitching, like, help me out. Hey, if you've appreciated my content, this would mean a lot to me.
Right, but that time that you did that, I remember I took my son to a birthday party.
Yeah.
So I'm at the local, like, swimming pool or whatever, and you're literally all night sending me videos, and I'm saying, no, do it again, but this time don't say that. Try to get it to 45 seconds. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. This time
one of them.
I thought, I'm going to make a bullet point list, make it nice and easy, make it nice and simple, vomit some genius. Here you go.
On one of them, I just crushed it. And one of them is like, yep, perfect. It was the second one that then I had to do a ton of takes on because you didn't quite like how I did it. But newsflash, Mark, I'm going to make these, and you're still going to say the same thing. You're going to come back and say, no, I don't like how you said that, or no, that's too fake, or no, this blah wasn't good. That's still going to happen.
Newsflash.
Got there sooner.
We met Friday. Sunday morning, we had a 2-hour conference call. Monday afternoon, I got you the stuff. That was nice and soon, man.
Yes. Amazing. But it's delaying the process in that, like, you should have spent that time on other stuff, either for me or for somebody else.
How much time do you think I spent on it?
I don't know. Whatever it was too much.
How much time do you think I spent on it?
I don't care. 15 minutes. It should have been 5.
I spent about 15, 20 minutes on it. But that's dude, I sent you like 18 scripts. That's amazing.
It should have been less. And like looking at that list, now it's going to take me forever to film it because I got to memorize those stupid points.
So you reverse engineer so they're not exact points then.
Huh?
You can look at them and you can see that the first one leads with 3 questions and then it transitions to this. The second one, I only have 1 question. The third one leads with you talking about impact. The fourth one leads with you being a social media star. Like each one is structured to try and lead with a different hook. So just look at that hook and go with the flow then.
Like I could have made one today just from my phone and gone, or come home and made one.
Still could make one today. I gave you 18 to make. You could have made one.
Yeah, but it's a giant list.
Great, so make one.
Yeah.
Focus on momentum, Evan.
Yes, but I want you to give me less, but then apply it to more ideas. Like, where's the book Insiders launch? Where's the video for that? My Toronto workshop. Oh, I'm renaming it, by the way. Momentum sessions.
The
Momentum sessions with a theme each time instead of just a random Q&A. We're talking about something each time. Anyway.
Can we call it the momentum sessions?
Sure.
Sounds a little classier.
The momentum sessions?
The momentum.
It says Evan Carmichael presents.
The momentum sessions.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a note. See, that's it. Right there. What we just did, that's it. Just vomited genius. How long did that take? 4.5 seconds. Send.
Sounds like the Smile Sessions, right? From the Beach Boys, obviously, as you know.
I don't know Smile Sessions.
Yeah. When Brian Wilson tried to make the greatest album ever and then fell apart halfway through.
Oh. I know Brian Wilson from the Bare Naked Ladies album. I didn't even know he was a guy.
Yep. He was the main.
What's the Brian Wilson line? Brian Wilson, just like Brian Wilson says.
Just like Brian Wilson did.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lying in bed, just like a Brian Wilson did. Lying in bed, just like Brian Wilson did.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
We got to get you out to karaoke sometime. We do karaoke a few times a year.
Nina doesn't do karaoke.
And I was like, would Evan drive to Oshawa for karaoke?
No.
And great, thanks.
No, it's not happening. For karaoke? No, 0.
Well, no, I know you won't because Nina hates it.
Yeah, but for me too, I don't care. I would not do karaoke as a fun. It's not fun. Like, it's okay.
No, but we hang out in a group at our house.
No. It's not meaningful conversation. It's just.
Well, I was talking to Jack about this on Sunday night as we were driving to the Pink concert. I was like, we should do more with Evan and Nina.
Okay.
But we can't figure out what to invite you to or what to do other than the very rare occasion we're able to grab dinner together.
Oh, well, just do dinner. We could do dinner.
Because last time I tried to invite you to stuff, I told you what Nina said, which I know you don't remember, but I said I wanted you guys to do Mud Hero with me.
Please invite us more or something.
Yeah, something said thank you for no, we don't want to do that. Thank you for inviting us. Please invite us to more things.
Tough Mudder.
Yeah, Tough Mudder.
We don't do a lot of activities. Like salsa dancing.
I don't do a lot of activities either. I'm a homebody, but
salsa dancing, League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
I got an announcement coming for that soon, actually. What's their date? I'll give it to
Hey, I couldn't help but notice the other day you were playing your underdog strategy or whatever, and you really sucked.
What's my underdog strategy?
You said you were working with a League of Legends host or a coach.
Yeah.
Who's going to teach you how to play your character in a really unique strategy.
Yeah.
And yesterday you posted like terrible losses, or was that 2 days ago?
Yeah, brutal. But I mean, I crushed my part.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you probably don't know like what you're looking at really. With
Your team lost.
Yeah.
But you did well.
Yeah, like insanely well. It was sarcastic for anybody who like is in.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It misses a lot of people, but I was crushing it. But it's a five on five. So your team sucks, but you do well. It's like it's usually not enough to win. You need to have some decent teammates too, right? But he got me out of I got to a higher division using his strategies.
And now you're about to get kicked out of that division.
No, he got me to like a much higher division, and then within the division there's subdivisions, and I got kicked out of the subdivision, but I got myself back into it.
Okay.
So it's like it's iron, bronze, silver, and then gold, and then higher up. So I was in bronze, and he got me to silver.
How can you spend time on this? Like, this is one of the weirdest things. Like, it's cool that you're into games.
Yeah.
But why this? Why is this the thing that you choose?
Something. Yeah. I'm brewing. We'll wait next week. Something's coming. We'll share it for the podcast next week.
Okay, great.
Yeah. but otherwise, we don't really do new restaurants we go to because Nina likes food.
I love it.
I'll always plan something new.
Although I don't cheat on keto, so now it's impossible to go out to restaurants.
Yeah, you have to find like.
I have no cheat days.
It's still rough. Dancing, which we need to do more of. We haven't done it in a while, but my neck is healing, so I should be able to do it. And League of Legends. And then activities like we'll go and like Saturdays I'll plan a day, street festival or that kind of stuff, but not karaoke.
I don't know. I saw you in the car the other day karaokeing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
For some reason you tagged me. I guess
I was wearing the hat. Yeah.
So anytime you wear the hat, I get a tag?
Maybe. Yeah, I tag him on Instagram because I wore the Fanta hat. I'll sing. Listen, sing is one of my 5 S's. It's the first thing I do every morning. I sing. I put on a song and I sing.
Karaoke is singing.
But I would not make there's no world in which I would drive to Oshawa just to sing. I don't need that. Zero interest.
Wow. Okay, so we can't. Yeah. So
Tough Mudder might have been like maybe. I was
trying to figure out with Jack what we can invite you to and how we can get together, but the answer is we can't. Evan makes it too hard to be his friend.
Maybe I would rather I would rather come and help you lay your patio than.
I cannot imagine. No, I can't. Yeah.
I would suck at it. I would need
the patio was done and summer, it was summertime. We'd have Hayden and you guys over for a swim and the kids could play and all that stuff. But yeah, that's just visiting. I don't like visiting. I don't like visiting people, and I don't
that's what karaoke. No, it's not visiting. That's what karaoke is.
No. Karaoke typically we're drinking. Typically, there's great food. And
how are you drinking? You're on keto. Are you drinking vodka? What are you drinking?
Vodka soda.
Okay.
I just drink vodka soda. We're drinking. We're having fun. We're usually doing like a lot of group singing, and we're not doing karaoke like one person sings and everybody sits there and watch. There's mostly a lot of just really rowdy, fun songs.
You guys should get into League of Legends and join us. That'd be amazing.
You should get into karaoke and join us.
Oh my god, karaoke.
Ooh, a big announcement next week about it.
Coming soon. Anyway, so my coach has put me on a 3-game-a-day. Listen, I was not hard.
3 games a day?
3 games a day. I got to play 3 games a day. Ranked, which is the ladder system, right?
How long does it take to play a game? 20 minutes?
No. I mean, all in, you're looking at 40 to 60 minutes.
How is you investing 3 hours per day?
Yeah.
So 21 hours per week of time. How is that a good use of your time?
Dude, announcement coming soon. I would play once a week, like on a Saturday, maybe a couple games. Or if I couldn't sleep or something, then that would get my mind off of whatever was on and I go down. So yeah. It's rough. It's hard. We'll have to see how it fits into my schedule and routine and everything. And I don't like that it's not consistent too, because a game could be over super quick.
Mm-hmm.
The fastest game would be probably all in 30 minutes by the time you get into the lobby and pick your teams and load in and all that stuff. Uh, yeah.
And so you play them back to back, or you literally have to like
Yeah.
morning, noon, and night it?
Yeah, it's hilarious because the scene is so like my coach Mank was like, hey, if you lose a game, don't stress out. Maybe go take a break and come back to it. If you lose 2 in a row, like don't play again. Like, what are you, dude? I don't tilt, man. Like, you don't know who you're talking to. This stuff does not phase me.
Tilt is that's the term where with your paint where you used to play whatever it is, and you tilt the board to make it easier, or you mean tilt is in something else?
No, tilt in the gaming world means you lose control. Like you start doing stupid things. You get angry.
But you know where that comes from, right?
What? No.
That comes from pinball. Because
you get angry? That sounds more like you're cheating.
No, tilt. Like when if you hit the sides or if you do anything, then I think there would be like a tilt warning that would come up to say that you've done something. Like you bang it, you hit it, you shake it, you do something.
Because you got angry?
Huh?
Because you got angry, because you try to make it easier.
I don't know, but that's where it comes from.
Oh, maybe. It's basically you get angry and then you lose your mental focus, and then you
tilt.
You lose. You tilt and you lose. And this was see, sometimes when I'm in on something, I get super competitive, and I can actually use the psychology for me and against people, and because they're strangers, I don't mind as much. But I had to stop doing it because you can't tilt me. Like, there's no way. Like, you could do things in game. You can leave comments against people, and you can like you do these, like, you dance in front of them, and it tilts them. It freaks them out. And I play Timo, my character, this guy, which is like the ultimate tilt champion. Just knowing that he's in the game tilts people already. But it's like you're not.
I've never heard anyone use the word tilt so frequently. But
oh yeah. Oh, it's super common. But there's no way you're gonna tilt me. Like, it does not happen. It's a stupid game.
Why not say phase? Why not say anything else?
Because that's what it is. Yeah, but that's what it is. Get phase, but like tilt means you throw you
throw your controller or keyboard or whatever you play.
Yeah. But then in the game you start, like, you can rage quit, which means you leave the game. Like, screw these guys, I'm out. And now you're stuck playing a 4v5, which is almost always a loss. Or they run it down, which just means like they just keep dying. Like, they're not even trying. They're trying to die now. You're so upset.
Can they hurt you?
What?
Can they hurt you?
They're on my team.
Yeah, but can they hurt you if they tilt enough?
If somebody on your team tilts, yeah, they start making stupid decisions, and then
no. I mean, if they get angry enough, can they literally walk up to you on your own team and start getting rid of damage or help?
But they can throw the game, and then we lose, right? Like,
so my sons are really into War of Tanks or Tanks War.
Okay, you can attack each other.
No, it's you against someone else. But my son, my 7-year-old, was teaching me how to play, and I don't know what happened. I think I cut someone off, or anyway, someone on my team shot something across my front to like a warning shot. And I was like, they can't do that. So I turned and I shot him. And then my son freaked out, and he's like, you're going to get us suspended and banned from the game.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You can do that too.
And so I just killed the guy. I just took him completely out. And I found it funny. And my 7-year-old was really, really upset. So I don't mind taking a team player out. I'm cool with that.
So you can't do that in League, but you can lose the game for the team.
Right.
For sure, you can lose the game.
So in that situation, did I tilt, or was I because I was laughing so much?
No. It's more like you are so angry that instead of just playing poorly now, like, it's not that you've lost confidence in your abilities and like you're not doing well, so you're gonna play safe. No, you're gonna on purpose throw the whole game because screw these guys and screw this game and this sucks and life is terrible and all of this stuff, right?
Okay. People are really invested in this, eh?
Oh my, dude, it's all kids.
Okay, and you.
And me.
And a 39-year-old dude.
Dude, Manko, the challenger guy who's coaching me, he's talking about malding, which is being mad and balding. He's talking about like him being over the hill and old, and you know, his reflexes are going down. He's 25.
He's worried about all this stuff when he's 25?
Well, because he is old in the scene.
Okay.
Right? It's kids.
So you're super old.
Oh, yeah, I'm super old.
What's your username? Like Grandpa?
Believe Team.
Believe Team?
4 years ago, no, 5 years ago when I first played, I got into it and I taught Hayden how to play it. So he's 5, I'm whatever 34, and we play together with the team against other people. Sorry, against bots, and I know I can carry the game against bots because it's too easy, right? So we entered the game and I said, hey, you can all chat with the people on your team. Hey guys, just letting you know, I'm playing with my 5-year-old son. He's this character. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He just likes running around the map and being like, not playing the game and being stupid, but he just likes how the boots look on him and how fast he's running out of the base, right? Not doing anything, but don't worry. Like I'll carry the game. I can go against these robots and beat them all just myself. So we're gonna win. Just don't freak out or flame if he's doing things that don't make sense. And he said, you're playing with your 5-year-old son in League, was the next comment. It's like, yep, you're the greatest dad of all time. So you can't tilt me, right? I'm not going to get phased by some stupid thing happening to my teammates sacking or whatever, right? But because people are so easy to tilt, it's so easy to turn what I'm good at into a weapon, right? So how I would look at it before is I'm going to find the guy who I can tilt. Because it's psychological warfare. You just find the one guy on their team who you can tilt, and then that's it. It's a free victory, regardless of skill, because you're going to just make him tilt, get so upset, and then he throws the game and you win. So, yeah, I'm not super proud of that.
Really? You got a smile on your face.
Well, because I was really good at it. It's so easy. It's like unbelievable how easy it is to do. But now I try to take a more. Now I pride myself in eating, just basically like what I do in life, eating the judgment, eating the crap. So as soon as we get into the lobby, I'll say much love all, and then we'll just start, like, you hear people making fun of that or negativity, and like I'm just sending love to everybody.
Good for you, Evan.
Yeah, now we're bringing.
I'm not sure what to do with this information or this story.
We're bringing
that Evan is the master manipulator if he wants to be.
This is the thing, right? Like, I could make people do things that I wanted them to do for my selfish interests. I'd be really good at it. I could be a fantastic scam artist.
I used to work with a sales trainer guy that I really respected.
Yeah.
And there was a time where he got out of sales training.
Okay.
Because so many people were using the tactics that he taught them.
Yeah.
To just be like really shady salespeople, like really shady things. And so he got out of it because he was just worried. Or he couldn't live with the fact that he was teaching these people and they were using it to do harm to others.
Yeah. Once you get people in a really vulnerable state, which is what I end up doing, the fact that you believe in them to do anything, you could push them in the direction that you want them to go, regardless if it's actually the best thing for them or not.
Okay.
That's what becomes super dangerous. Like, it's not your agenda. Like, it's not my agenda. When I'm working with somebody, Steve or Louis or you or whoever, I don't care. I remove myself. It's not me. It's you talking to you. I have no agenda other than you winning. I don't want you to buy anything. I don't want to push you down this path because I think it's great. Like, what do you want? And then I'm going to push you hard on that. So that's why it works so well. It works well in League. It can work well anywhere.
Are you sure you're not manipulative?
Not for my own. I'll manipulate you for you. Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I'll use everything, like, to get you to do the thing that you need to do for you, and then you'll come back and say thank you. And anybody, right? Like, that's
if you don't burn them along the way.
If it's one-on-one, I don't burn people along the way. Like, I know what you're talking about. I wouldn't have done that with that person.
Oh, no, I don't even mean that specific. I mean, lots of people that I've seen over the years you reach out to with the, like, hey, I think you could do this. I think you're amazing. And you do that push, and then they ignore you, or they don't respond well, or they just don't understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, but that's not burning people. I open windows all the time. I consider opening a window or opening a door all the time. Opening a door, a window all the time, constantly. Steve on Friday could have gone nowhere. Asked a few questions, opened a few doors, and he stepped through it. He chose to step through it. Okay, now we're having a conversation. But a lot of times those doors and windows go nowhere. One, because they're not ready, or two, because maybe I don't have the I didn't ask the right question or have the right skills to get them through the door. But I'm not burning anybody. Like I'll push people as much as they need to be pushed for something. Yeah, but it's definitely dangerous. It's dangerous. It's super dangerous.
If you had to call this episode something, what would you call it?
Now you're the genius at this. You need to vomit that in.
You're good. You're great at this stuff. You write books. You are literally a published author, and you can't string for me a theme as to what it is we talked about today.
I don't know.
I'm not a published author yet.
You should be.
I gotta write a book. I gotta write a book first.
You are. It's happening.
I
don't know, man. I don't know. Evan, what do you want to talk about episode? That's a pretty boring title, though.
No, it's pretty catchy. I don't know if I didn't tell you. I got Jacqueline onto Instagram finally.
Oh, really? I should follow her.
I've been.
Are you like saying what her thing is, or you could send it to me after?
She's got it public. I don't know if it matters. Her hash or her name, I guess we'd say, is Jack is Strong.
She's not following me? Are you kidding me, Jacqueline? You're killing me. All right. First follow. She's following 21 people. She's following Pink and Gwen Stefani. All right, fine.
Yeah. So on the drive down on her birthday, I've been bugging her for months to be on Instagram because the only thing she really does on Facebook is share photos, a lot of photos.
Yeah. And
so I was like, you have to be on Instagram. One, she's got to see all the shenanigans that Evan and I are up to as we're busy having all this fun and living life. You know, like I had to create for our Dallas thing. I had to create one of those highlights of all of the stories just to save them so I could literally hand her my phone and say, watch all of these.
Okay.
And so I'm like, you got to get on Instagram. So she's
posting stories too? No.
She hasn't started posting stories yet.
3 posts. But, is she going, oh, that's decent. Oh, wow. Look at this post about Pink talking about how great her husband is.
Oh, yeah, that was nice. I was really proud of myself. So I got her these, I know she likes Pink. We saw her about a year and a half ago. I got her these tickets. I got her great tickets because I know she likes to feel a little bit exclusive. So we got floor seats so we could taste it and walk past the security again, go and get our great seats.
So fancy this guy with his Uber drivers now taking her around the world.
I did do my Uber driver thing that you challenged me to do this week. Whatever, dude. You were like Mr. By invite only Tony Robbins attendee kind of guy. So you're the one who admits that you want to have a private plane to fly you around. So
I'm trying to justify it.
Don't throw shade. But what's that?
Oh yeah, no. I like poking. Oh yeah, we got to poke. This is great. The poke is great. You should be doing that more. Listen, I said just to start or whatever I said. You posted that. Get used to it.
Get used to it. Yeah, that was fun. I got 3 different stories going on right now. But anyway, so I don't remember. Where was it going with Jacqueline's story?
Pink. Get on Instagram.
Anyway, I don't remember, but I taught her how to get on Instagram. She got on it. I taught her everything about, here's a hashtag.
I'm following her.
Here's what the rules are.
I'm waiting for my follow back. Unbelievable.
But can I tell you about the driving thing? So 3 weeks ago, I guess.
I don't think she's even following you. Oh, she is following you. Okay.
Yeah. 3 weeks ago. Oh, I made sure she was following me.
I would have made a strong push. Like, you got to follow me before Mark, just because. That'd be amazing.
That'd be great. So 3 weeks ago, you challenged me, Evan, to one, post put a giant picture of myself up in my office.
Yeah.
I feel like I put a big picture, and then on last week's episode, we talked about we have to do a before and after.
Yeah.
So that makes me uncomfortable. But the other thing was to get myself Ubered places because I go to different meetings and whatnot.
Right. Mark feels fancy taking in.
So yesterday was the first time that I rather than drive myself downtown, park, walk, and then walk back to my truck, sit in traffic for an hour, I had an Uber person take me downtown, which was an awesome experience. It was great, mostly because I was able to crack open my laptop, like when you're in a plane, right? Like you crack open your laptop, you throw your headphones on. I was able to do work. I was able to prep for my meeting. I didn't have to worry about parking. I didn't have to stress out about traffic. I gave myself an hour and a half to get downtown. It took 28 minutes or something.
And you crushed that meeting.
It went well.
That was a good investment of how much was that Uber ride? $40?
$45 each way. On the way back, it was even better though, because it was stop and go traffic. And I was able to just, so here's the thing I did to myself. I was like, if I'm going to spend $90, I better drive a lot more value in my business during this drive than $90. Like, so like I had to like use that time in the car to drive like a ton of value. Otherwise it seemed like a total waste.
Did you drive? Well, it was $45 for the way down, which you crushed because you prepared for the meeting.
Yes.
It's only $45. Did you drive more than $45 worth of value on the way home, Mark?
I don't know if I actually did. I reviewed a blog post. I reviewed a blog post for one of our clients. I helped with some cognitive questions for surveys for another client that we're doing for free. So, I mean, I help people out, you know, that's what we did, but it was great. It was great driving down there. Yeah, it was all good. Can I tell you about this meeting? So we go to this meeting. First of all, the team has been preparing for 3 weeks, helping us put together like a specific reel, a specific presentation. I spent 3 hours, maybe 4 hours yesterday, like really thinking through everything. I tried to think ahead of, we've been working with this company for 7 years. And so in 7 years time, I actually just went to my email and typed in their @ symbol to figure out how. I've gotten 6,700 emails just from their company in 7 years.
It's 1,000 emails a year. That's crazy.
I've had, I mean, like, listen, lots of projects have lots of emails, but I added up, you know, like we've done over 50 projects with like large projects with them over that time.
Emails a day for 7 years, 6 years. That's wild.
Well, you're averaging it out, but there'll be like a 3-month period where there's no emails. And then there'll be lots of time where I'm CC'd on people having a conversation with 35 emails.
All right.
Anyway, so I realized that what's my Achilles heel in this meeting? It's them asking like, hey, what departments have you worked with? I don't remember. It's been 7 years. So I went through and like started listing out.
That question? No.
No.
Did they ask you about your wristband? No.
No. So hold on. Actually, sorry, they did. They specifically said, what departments have you worked with? And I went, click, click, click. Here are the departments we've worked with. Okay. But my biggest worry is when clients go, I'm bad with names. And so when clients go like, oh, hey, who did you work with over in this one division? And I'll be like, I don't remember. Like it makes it look like we don't really have a relationship if I don't even remember the person's name. If I'm like, you know, that person who works with that guy, like, so I went through all of the emails and I listed out every single name of every single person I've worked with there in the order, and then just recalled how did I meet them, what order did I meet them in, what projects were they attached to. So at the very least on my laptop, if they ask, I could glance down the list and say Pam or say this or say that.
You need to do the same thing for mentoring your team.
Well, they didn't ask me that. Here's the question that totally messed me up.
No.
What?
When you work with them, when you say, here's an action item, then you follow up. You put it in your calendar and you say, hey, on Wednesday, reminder, how you doing, Steve?
Yeah, everybody has access to my calendar, so they'll see that I'm
whatever. You put a private calendar. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
The work you just said, I suck at names.
Yes.
I don't remember people's names, and that makes me look bad when I go into meetings. So I've developed this strategy so that in case I get asked, I'm good to go. Fast forward to the beginning of this conversation, you say, well, I suck at follow-up. Great. Develop a strategy so you can follow up. You can crush it.
Of course, I can do anything with a strategy. I'm capable of literally doing anything I face if I put the time and energy into it. Anyway, so I'm in this meeting, and I feel prepared, and it's going well. It's going very well. And then literally out of the blue, the person I'm speaking to goes, who else do you work with? And I go, you mean here? And they go, no, like just give me another company that you work with really, really often right now. And my mind goes completely blank. Like we do 140 projects a year. We've worked with a lot. We've worked with hundreds and hundreds of companies. It should be very easy for me to just pull, like my mind goes so blank that I like laugh awkwardly. And I'm like, I literally have prepared for every eventuality. And for some reason, I feel like I didn't prepare for this question. I'm like, and it got really awkward. So I listed a few companies, and anyway, we moved on. And then later in my presentation, I had like 7 different case studies that totally answered that question. But I thought it was funny. But
this is the cramming before the test syndrome.
Go.
You're so stressed out about getting everything right that you forget the most important thing.
I didn't.
That Mark
Most
Drager is walking into this room.
important.
That's it.
You know what? 20 minutes before the thing, I put on my headphones. I put on some top 10 Evan top 10 Gary Vaynerchuk, and I heard him say this one little thing about value, and I shifted everything I was going to say in my entire presentation. Because really, we're supposed to go into these when you meet someone and they want to see your capability deck, they want you to talk about you, but they don't really want you to talk about you. They want you to talk about the side of you that's most applicable to them. But you don't know what's most applicable to them because you don't know them. You are literally dancing and auditioning for someone without even really knowing what it is that they're specifically looking for. And so going into it, I had a whole process and a strategy and everything I was going to take them through. And literally, we hit it off right away. We talked about personal stuff. I talked about why I started my business, and my grandfather and my wife, and my first year in business because he was curious and he talked about himself. But really, the question that mattered the most is what do you want, right? Like I can talk about myself, I can talk about what we've done, I can talk about all of these things, but really, the only reason I'm here is because I can potentially help you get what it is you want. So that's what I
just witnessed is Mark Drager being Mark Drager.
What's that?
Yeah, just the last 30 seconds. Just rewind that. That's Mark Drager. That is Drager. That's him. That's the Mark Drager I know. When he's in his element, doing his thing. But when I asked you the question about the clients, you just forgot who you were.
I forgot who I was. I forgot who I worked with.
You were stressed out.
Yeah.
About having to get every question right and being prepared all the way down that you forgot who you were.
Okay.
Mark Drager can fluff up that question if you don't have an answer. Yeah, that's Mark Drager. Which is why, circling this all back around, when you're giving confidence in your team by doing the work that we talked about, is way more important than them remembering one little detail on some stupid project. Because if they walk in feeling heads high, like I'm a gangster, I'm a badass, I got this, everything else falls into place. But if they're walking in feeling stressed out over every little detail, they're going to lose.
Mm.
So knowing that Mark Drager has their back and he's been injecting them full of confidence all the way through, and he cares, they're going to crush it. They just remember who they are.
Let's leave it at that, man.
Remember who you are. Remember who you are episode.
Believe.
We don't have an announcement for the audience.
You want to share? We're going to share. So like the goal is to help get more time in the podcast to be able to dig into things, to hang out a little bit more and allow things to go the way they go. And so really Instagram Live and recording it in 1 hour keeps us to a very tight 1 hour window. But I love the Q&A. I want to get better at it. Evan's amazing at it. And so we're going to break out to 2 different podcasts per week is the goal. One where we hang out a little bit more, hitting a topic still and exploring it the way that we just had last week and this week. And then we'll release a smaller episode midweek where I jump on Evan's IG Live and we answer some questions. And then we have 20, 30 minutes of kind of Q&A. And we'll see how it goes.
If you want to see the last episode of my podcast with Mark, it's fire. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.